Hey trappers, Jason Vance here with Advanced Predator Management. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and checking out this video. It has to do with waxing canine traps. Yesterday I did part one where I dyed my traps. I showed you the process that I used to do that. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. And for everybody that hasn't subscribed yet, could you take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as well as the notification button. That way you can be notified when I post a new video, which is going to be pretty regularly now. So again, this episode here is waxing my traps, and yesterday I dyed them, left them in overnight so that the pot would cool, all the old wax would float to the top and make it easier for us to pull the traps through the dye today. So let's take a look and see what we have. So you can see this pot's cooled overnight. It's afternoon, so it's definitely had enough time to cool, and you can see how on the top all this old wax just clumps up on here. And now I'll skim all this off. You can sometimes run a hose through it if you want and just fill it back up. And then what I'll do is once I get all this off and skimmed over, then I will pull the traps out. So yeah, and you can see all that sludge. Now if we were to pull our traps up through there yesterday, we would have had this all over our clean dyed traps. So with that being said, let's get this wax off here, get the traps on a tarp, and start waxing. All that old wax. You can see I just took these traps out of the pot. They've been in there roughly 24 hours soaking. But as you can see, they take on a really, really dark black color to them. And I like that. I think that by leaving them in that dye, it allows the dye to adhere to the rust a little bit more, soak into it when they are rusted. If these were brand new traps, I would do the same thing. I would dye them, boil them in that pot, and take them right out and just wax them. These are a little wet, and when you see how I boil my traps, the water will boil off of them, and that's when you kind of know that you've gotten to the temperature that you need for your trap. I kind of have a process that I do, and I'll show you what it is and how I do it. So let's take a walk over here. I try to set myself up in like a triangle, and it'll all come together when you see it. So let's just check the wax. As you can see, it's boiling. It's probably melted pretty good. I'm just gonna let it roll there for a little bit more, continue. As you can see, it's starting to bubble up there. It's almost at temperature. So keep the lid on it, keeps it a little warmer, makes it melt a little bit faster. So what I got over here is a rack, and on this rack is a bunch of screws, and what I'll do is I will basically take and walk like a triangle. So what I'll do is I'll start over here, and I like to try to try to wax 2 traps at a time. So I'll take two of those, and then I'll walk over to here. And I'll set them in the pot. The first ones, I'll let them sit there for, maybe 45 seconds. And it's going to take a few of them to really know where you're at and how your wax is, and get it rolling. So then what I'll do is I'll go over to here. Hold on one second. This is starting to bubble. You know when it's, there we go. Yeah, the wax is just about ready to start dipping. So, and then what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll put those 2 that I just took out of the wax in here. I'll walk over here again, grab 2, walk over there, and by the time that I get back over from setting those 2 on the rack, picking 2 more up and dropping them in here, those ones in the wax should be done. It's a process that I've come up with and it works for me, but like I said, you're gonna have to watch and make sure that your traps are getting to the temperature of your wax, and you'll notice that there'll be a white flaky film on it, and I imagine we'll have a few of those before we get the temperature just right. So let me set this up and show you the process. Okay, so these traps here are a little wet. Now that I got my wax at the right temperature, I'm going to show you what happens. So I'm going to put these in here, going to let them sit. It'll take a minute. But once these traps in here, you'll see what happens when the water starts to boil off them. And here it goes. It's going to foam right up. And if your wax is too full when this happens, you're going to want to make sure that you take some out, because it will overflow over the sides. So what happened was just now is the water just boiled off the trap. Now the trap is getting to the temperature of the wax, and that foamy, like you pop a soda can that's been shaken up, that's what you want. And so now, like I said, now when I do my rotation and pull these things out and then walk over and put those in, drop them back in, by the time I get over there to my rack, this has already started its process of boiling up like that. So, but just one thing you want to be careful with is not having too much wax in your pot. You want just enough to cover your trap, because if you have this thing filled to the top and that happens, it's going to overflow, it's going to catch a fire, and it's just a mess. So, and like I said, if you're doing this, you want to do this outside, away from anything, because wax is very flammable. So you can see we got this wax boiling pretty good right now. You want it to be rolling. Could be a little bit hotter. It's, like I said, it's getting there. We'll have to keep an eye on the traps. They look like they're doing pretty well, so I'm just gonna pull these out. What you want to do is you want to give them a shake. We'll come over here. You can see they got a nice jet black color to them. And that's what you want. You want that nice thin coat of wax. In this cool weather right now, it's about 50 degrees out. There's no sun. These will dry pretty quick. So let's go over here. We'll grab a couple more. Like I said, just hook them up. I'm gonna set my camera up here, so I'm just gonna, now we got a nice, see that foam? That's what you want. You want that foam that's coming up. That's what I look for, and that's when I know that the wax is pretty decent. And if there was a lot of water on it, that water would come right to the top. That would bubble right out. So you got a nice rolling pot of wax here. So let me set this up, and I'll show you the process from a distance as I put them in there, and you'll get an idea as to what I'm doing and how long it takes. There's no set amount of time. but by me walking back and forth from each location. Basically, it's a station. It's a waxing station. The traps are in their own area, waiting station, and the drying rack. So let me set it up and you guys can follow me. Okay, so here we go. We got these. I got 2 traps in there, and it's got a pretty good rolling boil to it. And what I'm going to do, sorry about that, is pull these 2 out. See if I can do this. And then drop 2 more down. My hook stays on the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk over here to my rack. I'm going to drop them on. And it takes a little bit of time. I mean, like, I'm not in no rush to do this. So then I just walk back over to here. I've already got my traps unhooked. So I just grab one here, find another. Another hook. 2 more. And just look at these. These still got a pretty good rolling boil to them. I'm still thinking that it's not hot enough. You should be seeing the water like a fizz, like it should. Almost like if you pop a soda can, the fizz will come right up, and that's just the water boiling off of them. So, like I said, it'll take a few to get them to the point. I'll have to double check these once they're on there just to make sure that they don't have like a white, thick, flaky wax on it. You want a nice, smooth coat that you can barely, tell that it's waxed, it's shiny. So we'll take a look at these and see how we go. So there you have it, folks. Right there is finally what I wanted it to look like. It just bubbles up to the top like that, rolling. You pull them out and you can hear them fizz. Just shake them off. Go over here, hang them up. You can take a look at these ones. They're nice black, nice coat of wax on them, ready to catch a bunch of animals. So hope this tip helps you. Again, if you have a moment, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and as well as the bell so that you know when my next video comes out. I'm going to try to post regularly here. Be heading to Kansas pretty soon, setting a line out there. You're not going to want to miss it. Should be a good year. 1,000 coyotes.